Namaste to the guys and goddesses. So in this video, I want to talk about my ayahuasca journey. It happened about 3 months ago. So I met up with this one guy who I had no idea who he was, but we drove about from all the way to LA to Mount Shasta, about 8-9 hours. It was a lovely drive, very scenic. We didn't get there till night, and we were probably one of the last ones there. And it was like a bunk bed set up. Everybody was in the living room. Greeted everybody, and shortly after they had I guess an introduction of who you were and why you were there. And then they also went one by one and served us some arpe. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. Harpe. Yeah. I mean, I've done it before. Like, one of my exes kind of got me. So, and then around that time, we was just kind of mingling, getting to know other people. One of the craziest synchronicities too, when I was there, was I met a woman who shared the same birthday as me. But yeah, went to sleep that night, and the next day, I think they had another group setting where we talk about what our intentions were with the ayahuasca. And yeah, I would say about after that was probably an hour in, we drove into this beautiful ass spot. We parked and we probably hiked maybe 7 minutes. 7 minutes, and it was a dope setup. Had a little fire setting in the middle. There was a kind of a riverbed going by, and yeah, then the ceremony happened. I was kind of chill. I wasn't nervous, nothing like that. And then I was actually the last one to be served the ayahuasca. I say over my years, I've gotten used to bitters, so I know I've heard other people talk about how bitter it was, but to me, not too much. I was savoring each drink. It was very thick. It was dark. And I kid you not, I even told the dude who I drove with, don't be surprised. I'm the only one who doesn't throw up. But I purged in a different way. So there were some people that purged throwing up. There were people that purged through diarrhea. That's what I did. And then there are other people who just purged with their tears. And so I was the last one to be served. I think it was because it's veganism, holistic diet I've been on for the last 5 years, no processed shit. It went right through me, and then within 20 minutes, I had diarrhea. The shaman kind of guided me to a place where I did it. While I was tripping, I already felt the effects. And then I actually set up right next to the girl who had the same birthday as me, but I just went in my little sleeping bag, closed my eyes, and I drifted off. It kind of if you can imagine in the movie Soul, how you go on the conveyor belt. That's kind of how they started off as. I had a similar experience with that on shrooms. The same narrative, but the only difference with this one is hold up, people are driving by. But yeah, the only difference with this one was Like it felt like a wise woman like seducing me and saying a bunch of lying things to me. Whereas like with shrooms, it was like more trippy, more visual, more sacred geometric visuals, and it was just like, so I'm in my trip, and I'm just here. I'm downloading like information from Mother Iowa, certain like very, very wise things. But basically, a lot of the things, the two things I picked up on it was, I remember she kept saying, "You're pure, you are pure, you're pure." That was one of the messages. And then another one was a mantra I kind of like channel was, "You create everything." And I just kept saying that, "You create everything, you create everything." But yeah, it was just giving me confirmation of how to go about like being like a spiritual counselor to people and what's like the best way to teach them and whatnot. Yeah, and I also was crying too, like happy tears. I was just very thankful for my mother, or even one of my ex's daughters. She's probably like the most purest human I've ever met. There was like no like toxicity. There was no negative, attributes within her. So I was just crying over just being grateful to experience her as a little girl at that age. But eventually, like, I want to go pee. I got up, and then that's when these two women picked me up and then guided me to the fire setting. But before that, also the shaman would come around. I think she came around 2 times and would, channel messages to me. I remember one was like, just look at the light, look at the sun, because I had it fitted on. So, but eventually, the second time she told me, I took it off. And then, yeah, I'm at the fire setting, and this is when it gets like a little bit more interesting. I mean, I connected with 3 other people. Yeah, I connected with 3 other people at the fire ceremony. We were just talking about like very deep philosophical talks. I feel like I was so fucking tapped in, like just like the wisdom was like flowing. I felt like a little nostalgia, because I remember I had like this wooden stick, and I was like drawing things in the ground. And I remember the woman who shared the same birthday as me. I was like, "Look, I'm drawing sigils." I was very tapped into my inner child. I don't know, it had this type of nostalgia where I was around, like maybe like, I don't know, like 8,000 years ago, and just in nature creating sigils in the ground. But anyways, I telepathically connected with an individual during the fire ceremony, and he confirmed it afterwards. I think we had like a 2-minute discussion of just life profound talks. And then I actually manifested one of my pictures on my first Instagram account. It's a picture of like this indigenous brown skinned man with long hair embracing a taller aboriginal black man. And I think that the caption said, "I know it hurts, brother." But it was very it was very symbolic of what, because I've noticed I've manifested a couple other pictures on that Instagram account, and yeah, but that was crazy. Then we went back to the place. They were serving us some soup, It was kind of getting to know other people too. To be honest, like the most interesting person I got to know on the whole trip was probably the little boy, the one of the hosts who like gathered everyone and like created the whole ayahuasca thing, made it happen for everyone. I feel like that was probably like one of the nicest bonds. But yeah, yeah, everybody was oh yeah, during the ayahuasca trip, you would hear people crying, just throwing up. It was like little bombs going off, like boom, boom, boom. But I was more into like a multi-dimensional kind of feeling, like I was like my senses were in another realm, but I can hear what was happening. But it felt like it was kind of far. It felt like I was like maybe like 40 feet from where it was happening, because it didn't sound clear. But yeah, and then went to sleep that night. I actually worked out with a dude, and his girlfriend at the time, she actually did a tarot card reading for me, so that was like cool too. Yeah, then the next night, we had to do like this, get on camera, and then just talk about our experience. I feel it was like a live Zoom call type shit. Yeah, I was one of like the last people to leave the house, but it wasn't over after that. Like, if y'all ever met Shasta, you probably want to connect with a guy named Gary. But yeah, we had like this tea ceremony. We had this like sound bath. I could never imagine where you can get high off tea. We did that, and then we also did this like sound bath. And then also too, I collected water at one of the springs in Mount Shasta. So, and this like the water when I came back to my home and I would drink it, it had like this different magical effect on it. I even checked out, like, you should check out like the metaphysical stores, like the bigger ones. It's probably like the nicest metaphysical store I've ever been to. We kind of ended it with an Indian meal with a group of other friends, and after that, me and my dude was just on our way back to LA. Came home at like 5 a.m. But yeah, I would say for the next week and a half, I was like really tapped in, like, to a lot of my potentiality, my real strengths, just different things that I was tapped into. Like, for one example, like something not supernatural, but I hoop, so like when I went back on the courts, like I was just extra shifty with it. And if you don't play basketball, that just means like you have like a better rhythm while you play basketball with the handle, with the ball on offense. So yeah, that was one of the effects. But yeah, I definitely, like, if you're into psychedelics, if you're a psychonaut, definitely give ayahuasca a try. I mean, there's more expensive retreats in Peru, but there's some like I only paid 200. Yeah, 200. It was only 200, and it was well worth the money. If anything, that retreat was probably worth like 900, if anything. But yeah, it was like one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. Definitely a highlight for sure. And I'm probably gonna go back and go do it again too in another 2 months. But yeah, so yeah, I feel like with shrooms, it tells you like what is, but with ayahuasca, it kind of tells you what to do in your life. So definitely try ayahuasca if you in Cali. I know a plug out here, or you want to go do it where it originated from in Peru, by all means. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, or anyone who is interested in ayahuasca. But yeah, peace, peace, peace.